Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We'll begin with our prayers to Srila Prabhupada. First of all, my obeisances, everyone. Vanchakalpa Trubhisha, Kripa Patitanam, Pavinebhyo, Vaishnavyo, Namo Namaha. In calling upon our Srila Prabhupada, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pasya Deshe Tarane Gyanatimidandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Hi, great to be with everyone. It's my life. I'm thinking it's what Ellie experiences when she opens her eyes in the morning and sees her little baby next to her. Right? She just comes to life, and so that's how I feel. I have a feeling it's even better. Anyway, but I think they're both like, in a category that's I can't really safely say because I've never felt motherhood or fatherhood really in that sense, but I'm getting to experience transcendental fatherhood. And sometimes we'll say that the Guru and Krishna, they're like our mother, our father, all the above. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dana Pran. Dana Pran means that he's our very source of life. Krishna Guru. All righty. Anyone have any realizations that have come across them since we last met that you wanted to share? I was reading about, I don't even remember exactly what I was reading, but I was reading about, Prabhupada was talking about, it could have even been in a lecture I heard, was talking about appreciating gratitude and appreciating everything that Krishna's done for us. Beginning from creating us, which is pretty cool. Can't we all appreciate our parents, that they brought us into this world and they cared for us and raised us? And again, Ellie knows best about raising a child. My God, it's like, it must be such incredible work. And I don't think they ever really say thank you or I really appreciate that. But it's, raising a child must be, unbelievable. Of course, Lakshman and Kalki raised a child, didn't you? From what age? From two.
From 5. Well, both from birth and then one from 11 months old.
Oh, you have two.
Yes, one is 32, 22.
Wow. Okay, so you've had a real experience of fatherhood and motherhood. All
they're both. Yeah, they're both really good.
Oh,
they turned out very, very well.
They turned out good.
Yes, definitely.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. That's a great accomplishment. They have any interest in spiritual life?
One of them does. Both of them to a certain extent, but one of them has a little bit more. So.
Oh, good. I mean, Prabhupada, I don't think any of his kids turned out that great. Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. And of course, we know in Shastra that if we didn't do so good, we can think that even Krishna himself, speaking about in the Chaitanya Lila, Advaita Charya had 6 sons, and 3 of them were Mayavadis. Isn't that right, Malati? Three were.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Gurudev, sorry, I didn't know.
Pretty sure, yeah. Three were Mayavadis, and three, we had one really good one. That was Achyutananda, I think was his son that was a really great devotee, and two others, and three that weren't really, they were some sort of Mayavadis. I'd have to go back and reread that carefully. But
why will that happen like that, Gurudev? What is Krishna trying to tell us? Is there a message?
And I was hoping you wouldn't ask that. But it's a really good question, and I mean, I could speculate. I think there's nothing wrong with speculating. I mean, okay, there's two kinds of speculation. What are the two types of speculation?
Mental and philosophical.
Say it again.
Mental and philosophical.
Excellent. And what is the difference?
Mental means you're concocting your own ideas, like, that thinking what you are thinking, and then philosophically means there's two ways of looking at philosophical speculation. One is actually following the scriptures and then having an opinion, but another one is philosophically speculating without any basis, right? Like still again there is your own opinion. So that's what I'm thinking.
That it's definitely on the right. It's pretty much as I understand it. Mental speculation is you're just mentally speculating, not based on any scripture, and you're not trying necessarily to come to the conclusion of God. But philosophical speculation is the goal is to understand Krishna. And so we're looking at the scriptures to see how is this correct or not. We want the goal of philosophical speculation is that we already know what we're trying to go with it. We want to see how can we understand this correctly.
Gurudev, you were frozen a little bit, so I'm thinking we should try to do that so we don't lose anymore. Already once it happened. Yeah. I just saw it. Yeah, earlier about 1 minute.
Let's try this then. Okay. Let's have everybody mute themselves. Not mute, but turn off your video. Leave yourself unmuted. I think that's probably okay. And all right. So, am I freezing? Are my hands moving?
No. Yes, you're fine. You can see you nicely.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So let's try that, and then when we get to anybody wants to make a comment or question. Don't bother to raise your hand. Just pop up on the screen, and okay. And that'll be good. So we'll see how that goes. So that's philosophical and mental speculation. I remember one time. Devotees were speculating. Hang on, there's a door that keeps swinging open and shut and close. Okay, so I remember a very dear friend of mine in Alachua. They were reading somewhere that that the guru, let me try to remember this now. I got to think about this one before I talk about it. I have to remember. It's kind of a cute one that they had gotten wrong, but their goal was to understand how it connects to Krishna. I think that the way they were speculating on the verse that says, Tvamna sandarshito datra dushtaram nishtatirshitam kalim satvahara pumsam Karnadhara ivarnavam. So this is a verse that talks about how the guru, he's like the captain, and oh yeah, it's coming to me now. So the guru is the basically the captain of the ship, and these are the sages. We're saying, I believe the sages at Naimisharanya, they were saying that Tamna Sandarshito Datra. That means that Sutta Goswami had come, and they were saying, "Oh, we think we've met your grace by the will of providence." Sandarshito means coming together, like Sangha. Sandarshito Datra. So he was coming to enlighten them by the will of providence. Samna Sandarshito Datra Dushtram Nistatirshhitam. That means the assembled are trying to cross over the ocean of material existence. So now the speaker has come. Kalim Satvahara Pumsam. That means that this age of Kali, Kalim, the age of Kali, Satvahara. Sattva means all good qualities. Haram, they're pulled away. In the age of Kali, Pumsam, that all men, meaning people, not men and women, Sattvaharam Pumsam, Karnadhara Ivarnavam. And that means that Karnadhara means to, literally means to hold the ear. Karnadhara Ivarnavam. So that's right. It's all coming back to me. So they were speculating, what does that mean that the guru holds the ear? And there was no explanation in Prabhupada's books about what that meant, why the captain is called Karnadhara. So they were speculating, and made perfect sense that the guru, sometimes it's said that the guru will come and he'll grab you by the ear. if you're going off track, the guru will come, and because Karnadhara means to hold the ear. So the guru would come and pull you by the ear and pull you back on track again. And the other point that they made, which was a good point, this is all, it makes sense, it's based on Shastra. The other point they made was that we even say in English, and I don't know about other languages, but we'll say, if we say something meaningful, and somebody will say, or if we explain something, someone will say, "Oh yeah, I hear you. I hear you." It's captured our ear. I hear you. Like, it means I understand, and so it's the ear. I hear that, and also he catches our ear when the guru speaks. It comes into our ear, and it really grabs our attention. So it's like holding our ear. It's holding our consciousness. Does that make sense? Did these things make sense to everyone?
Yes, Gurudev.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And so that Karnadhara. Now, several people started calling me Karnadhara because I sail. I'm in that sense a captain. I'm even a licensed captain with the U.S. Coast Guard. So they were joking, kind of fun in deep friendship, calling me Karnadhara. And so it got me really interested in what is this Karnadhara? And so I called a friend of mine who was he was a devotee, and I know for certain he fell away. But even though he fell away, he's got a lot of devotional credits. He became a great Sanskrit scholar and teaching in the universities, and did lots of nice service. A very, very sweet person. But for whatever reason, he's fallen away. So I called him and I asked him, could he help me with Karnadhara? What could he find that means? And he basically gave the same reasons that the devotees were speculating upon. And I said, well, could you look a little deeper? And he said, sure. So he, I don't know, maybe a week or so later, he called me up and he said, I've got the answer. And well, I was, okay, so what is it? So he said he looked back in the Rig Veda, and a very old term in the Rig Veda, karna, means rudder, the rudder of a ship. And if anyone has ever seen in older ships, the rudder, does everybody know what a rudder of a ship is?
No, Gurudev. No, Gurudev, I don't know.
Okay, it's in the back of the ship. There's basically a section that moves, and it goes back and forth, back and forth. This is off the stern, off the back of the boat, and it steers the boat. That's how you can steer. If the boat's going, you don't have wheels. All you have is the rudder. Maybe somebody can bring up a picture of an old ship where you can see the rudder. But anyway, and way back when, if you look at the real old ships, it was a rounded piece of wood. So it's kind of like, if you can see my fingers, it was basically in the shape of an ear. And so they called the rudder the rudder of the ship as it used the same thing as an ear, because it looks just like an ear off the back of the boat. And so therefore Karnadhara means one who's steering the boat. And Dhara means to hold. So he's holding the mechanism that turns the rudder. So that was really obvious now what Karnadhara means. It means the captain, and why they're using that term captain. I see a hand up. Do you have a picture of that for us?
I don't, Gurudev, but I just wanted to add that in Ayurveda, Dhara is used as a stream also. So like Shirodhara is a stream of oil. In body therapies, it means continuous stream.
Uh-huh.
And so like Shirodhara or Kshirodhara, they're all continuous streams of liquids. And so I just wanted to add that it's kind of interesting. We're talking about the boat, and then Dhara sometimes uses a continuous stream as well.
Right. I've never heard that, but I'm sure that's correct. But we hear Dhara a lot, like a name of Balaram is Haladhara. Haladhara, he's holding the plow. Or there's a nice devotee here in Hawaii. She's a lady, and her name is Vishnu Dharana. So it's Vishnu who's holding up the whole universe. Vishnu Dhara, holding the universe. So anyway, that's the philosophical speculation of him grabbing you by the ear, etc. That there's nothing wrong with that. The goal was to understand Krishna, even though it wasn't exactly correct. It was good. It was fine, but they weren't totally speculating on. They were basing everything on Shastra, on scripture. Okay. So I was speaking a little bit about a realization that I had about how we want to be able to appreciate that everything that's coming, that Krishna is giving us. He's given us, he made us he brought us into existence, into eternal existence. Don't try to wrap your brain around that. And he's provided everything for us. He's never left us for a moment. Not for a moment has Krishna ever left us. He's either with us in our heart, in the spiritual world, in our memory, in our thoughts, like when Krishna leaves Vrindavan. He never leaves the gopis. He's there in their hearts in an even more profound way. And the fact that Krishna has created the material world for us to kind of get this nonsense out of our system and get ready to go back to Godhead. And whenever there is a yadahi dharma shaglani bhaviti bharata, whenever there's a decline in religiosity, Krishna comes and reestablishes dharma. So he's always doing everything for us. And we should appreciate with gratitude, always feeling gratitude for what Krishna's given us. He came as Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. He sent Srila Prabhupada. He instructed, Krishna came and instructed, Narada Muni came and instructed Vyasadeva how to make the Vedas all relevant. So we have all that here for us that's awakening our heart. He's done everything for us. And so that was the point that was being made. But then I started to think that the real test of our gratitude is that when we start to think that Krishna's done so much for me, what can I do for Krishna? What can I do? What can I do for Krishna? And like our Sangha that we're having right now, Krishna is very, very pleased. Krishna says it, that famous verse, what is it? Naham tishtami vaikunte yoginam hridayeshu cha tatishtanti narada yatra gayanti madvakta. Krishna says, you're not going to find me in Vrindavan, not at this stage. Krishna in Vrindavan really isn't available to us at this time. So tishtanti means to be or to reside. Nam tishtanti vaikunte and vaikunta yoginam hridayeshu cha. And in the stage of Kali, we're certainly not going to find him in our hearts as of the yogi. But he said that wherever my devotees are chanting my glories, that's where I am, because Krishna loves to hear. He loves to hear us discussing. So we're bringing great pleasure to Krishna by having our Sangha coming together and associating. Krishna loves it. And when we're chanting our japa, we're approaching Krishna, we're crying to Krishna. He loves to hear our prayers. That's a form of devotional service, is prayers, that we're praying to Krishna. So we want to think not just to appreciate what Krishna has done, but how we can put a smile on Krishna's face. And what we're doing right now, I guarantee you, Krishna is smiling. The entire disciplic chain is smiling. So we want to always act in such a way that we're bringing pleasure to Krishna. I would say that's the test of the fact that we're feeling real gratitude for what Krishna's done for us. And there's no way to ever repay Krishna. It's impossible. But Krishna appreciates even our tiny little endeavors. Wow, time is zipping on by. I only saw a question from that doesn't mean some weren't sent that I didn't get, because I'm kind of limited with what I receive. Did anybody send a question besides Lakshman?
No, Gurudev, I did not. Send me to hell. I don't mind. I deserve it.
You already signed up for hell.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Question, but I didn't send it.
Oh, you had one, you didn't send it. It sounds like my dog ate my homework.
I thought of it this morning, and then I got caught up with getting Leela ready for school.
Okay. Well, we'll go with Lakshman's, and then we'll go from there. And we'll address yours. Thank you for submitting something. Okay. So Lakshman Prabhu, would you read your question?
Yes, Gurudev. Oops. Hare Krishna Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. In Bhagavad Gita, verse 12:11, the Lord gives the instruction to Arjuna that if one is unable to work in consciousness of him, to give up the results and be self-situated. Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that for one with difficulties working in the consciousness of the Lord, to then at the very least give those results to a good cause, like a charitable cause. In 12:12, the Lord then adds, if you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. I've always appreciated the compassionate nature of these verses to the disinterested in the Lord. Can you share how a devotee can help encourage one who may not have a taste for Krishna consciousness, however, does appreciate giving charity given to a good cause? How can transcendental knowledge be enlivened in charity given to a good cause?
Okay, so I find this more of a topic than a question, which we can certainly discuss. First of all, you use the word disinterested. Do you know what disinterested means?
Like not interested in the Lord is how I was thinking.
Yeah. Okay. That's a misuse of the word disinterested. There's uninterested and disinterested. Uninterested means you're bored with something. You have no interest in it. Like, say, sports. I'm very disinterested in, football games, baseball games, soccer games, that it just bores me to tears. So that's uninterested. Disinterested means that that you're totally neutral to something. You don't have any, like, for example, a judge. You want a judge to come in who is interested, but if disinterested means that he may be interested, but he doesn't. It's not one of his family members that he's presiding over, because if it was a family member, he would have a kind of a stake in it. So disinterested is a very different word. It means you're very fair. You're not taking a side. Like if you're you don't like Muslims or something for whatever reason, you just don't like them. Well, you certainly want that person. If you were a Muslim and you were in a court, and that the judge doesn't like Muslims, you want a disinterested judge, one that has totally open. Okay, so what's going on here is this all starts where Krishna gives an instruction. This is in the 12th chapter, right? So I think it's the 9th verse or 8th or 9th verse where Krishna starts this going down. So he says, what is the verse? Achitam samadhati nachaknoshi mayistiram abhyasa yogena tato mamachchatum dhananjaya. So Krishna is saying to Arjuna that he's giving the highest possible instruction. Achitam, that means your heart. Achitam samadhatum, your heart should be totally absorbed in me. That's the ultimate instruction. But then the second half of that verse, he says, but if you can't do it, achitam samadhatum nachakshimi abhyasa yogena tato mamachchatum dhananjaya. So he said that if you can't totally absorb your mind in devotion to me, totally, then practice sadhana bhakti, which is what we're doing. That will bring you mamachchatum dhananjaya. Then you'll really desire to be fully absorbed in Krishna. So that's the stage we're at. So Krishna gives Arjuna the highest point. This is the goal, always mind, completely absorbed in Krishna. If you can't do that, then practice sadhana bhakti. And then Krishna keeps lowering it and lowering it and lowering it, kind of lowering the bar. And it's the whole Vedic system is meant to keep raising, let's say from a very low class person, maybe born in a low family and what have you, it's to gradually elevate them from the mode of ignorance to the mode of passion, to the mode of goodness, and eventually get them to bring them to bhakti. So, you're saying, how does this really apply to us, or how can we show compassion? We always have to meet people wherever they're at. No matter where somebody's at, we'll try to give them Krishna on some level. One of the easiest, somebody who's just, totally out of it, just give them some prasadam. And that's really in their self-interest. They eat prasadam, you're like guaranteed a human birth. And I'm sure it's talked about different ways, different places, but Prabhupada said prasadam is our greatest weapon. So we want to kind of always meet people where they're at. But the thing is, if we read that whole section in the 12th canto, it's going down and saying, well, if you can't, Krishna says, if you can't follow the sadhana, then just work for me. And Prabhupada says in there, if I remember when I'm reading that eventually they will become purified if they're doing something for Krishna. Maybe they can't follow the principles, they're not into chanting, but they'll do something, they'll do some service. They'll give money for building a temple, they'll do something and that's bhakti. It's bhakti. Now, the bar gets lowered down to where it falls into the category of something is material. But we're trying to elevate them materially. So it's saying that if you can't even come to that level of doing something for Krishna, then just try to give up the attachment to the results of what you're doing. There's nothing spiritual about that, but it's certainly not far away. And there is a point where if we're doing all kinds of things, we're elevating up to the mode of goodness. If we don't come to bhakti, the whole thing, there's a verse that says it's basically a waste of time. It's who's speaking? I think it's Sukadeva Goswami, where he says, Dharma svanasutakpung sang vishvakshena kutasya notpadiye jadivratim shama evi kevalam. He says that if you do your dharma svanas, it's that your own dharma, if you do your material dharma very nicely, dharma vishvaktena, if it doesn't awaken an attachment to Krishna, shama evi kevalam, he says it's shama eva, the whole thing is useless labor. So, and it's a good thing. We will still try to elevate because they're getting closer and closer. They haven't gotten to bhakti yet, but at least we're getting them in the right direction. And at least their karma will be better. If you're more in the mode of goodness, you're doing good things, you're opening hospitals. There's nothing spiritual about opening a hospital. Unless you're a devotee, that's another story. If you're opening a hospital like Bhaktivedanta Hospital and somewhere in India, I forgot where it is. Is it in Mumbai?
Oh, yeah, it's in Mumbai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Malti. That's a whole nother story. But if you're just like, let's say I have a doctor, this is true, who is a plastic surgeon. He's going to be operating on my ear later this month. He's the one. did a 3.5-hour surgery to this year to remove the squamous cell cancer. So he goes to like these Doctors Without Borders, and he's apparently a master in cleft palates and cleft lips. It used to be real common. I think it's probably still common, but I guess they've got the operation down to such a science that you can hardly even tell. I remember when I was in elementary school, there was a guy that had he talked funny, and it's a big scar, but at least it wasn't, open. So my doctor goes on missions to these third world countries, and he's like a master. You can't even tell. I guess in most cases you can't tell at all. His nurse was telling me about how amazing he is. He didn't tell me, but his nurse was telling me because he's quite humble, and so he goes and does that, and that's he's definitely racking up some good karma, but it's not bhakti. It's not bhakti. But so if we can at least get people to be a decent human being, which is sort of where Krishna's going with this, then that's a good thing. But they can always fall from wherever they are. Now, sometimes Prabhupada will say that we have to look at everything Prabhupada says. We talk about this a lot. We have to look at everything. Sometimes Prabhupada will say that they are making advancement by doing certain material things. They're becoming elevated. But generally, our understanding is that if it doesn't come to the level of bhakti, it's once you hit even a little bit of bhakti, it's in the Gita, Krishna says, even apichet sudaracharo, even if one does just a little bit of service, neha bikamanashosi pratnavayana vidyate. That's alpasya dharmasya. If someone does just a little, alpa means tiny, meager. Alpasya dharmasya. If someone does a little bit of devotional service, then that locks him in. That's money that's in your eternal bank account. And once that starts, Krishna, you're going to get dragged the rest of the way. So we want to try to get people to come to that level. I think you've heard me say before that I like to have little prasadam candy bars in my I get at Costco, and then if I see like at the traffic light people or there's some very homeless people that practically have nothing, I'll hold it out. And sometimes I'll have a net, or they'll just take it in your hand and I'll say Krishna, and so they said Krishna and they eat the candy bar, rather than just giving them somebody just gives them $1. Well, they may get a little karma for that, but they're just going to use it for buying beer or whiskey or hard drugs or something. That's called compassion in the mode of ignorance. If you're giving something, like if somebody, hey, he's kind of honest. I saw one guy he was holding up a thing, need beer, and something about I'm being honest. I need beer, and if you give it to him, that's really compassion in the mode of ignorance. Yes, Lakshman Prabhu.
Thank you for bringing it up, because I was actually thinking about, when we drive down to Denver for the temple, we see a lot of homeless people, and we used to live in the smaller towns. So I've just been thinking about that exact example. And that's what kind of motivated me to ask this question today. Can I just have a quick follow-up? Would we say that if one encouraged someone to a pious in the mode of goodness activity, can we say that, but yet they're still uninterested in Krishna consciousness, can we say that is yet still successful? That
it's successful
moving towards Krishna?
Not necessarily. If you just encourage them to do something materially that's good, if you talk some very wealthy person opening a hospital, just a mundane hospital, it's good for their karma, but you got to engage, you got to cross a line.
Threshold.
The threshold, yeah, good term, yeah. And I don't know exactly, where that line is, but the line is that we're doing it for Krishna. And the example Prabhupada gives in the 12th canto is that if someone can't even follow the regular principles, they can just give something to Krishna. That's bhakti. I like the story we've all heard that in 26 Second Avenue, there was some bum that stumbled in when Prabhupada was giving a talk in the very, very beginning. Just a bunch of hippies in there and Prabhupada speaking. And he had some toilet paper or something, or paper towels. And he stumbled in and he put him down and he left. And Prabhupada commented that was devotional service.
Yes, yeah. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I wanted to say that, your first point that you brought up, Gurudev, about gratefulness, right? And Ramananda Prabhuji, after I gave my class last week, Gita class.
By the way, I'm still waiting to hear that class. I can't.
Yeah, and he brought up this very good point to understand how we give up the results of our activities, because if we are grateful for what God has given us, like your doctor is grateful to the Lord, even if he sees the Lord as, if he's not seeing him as Krishna, but if he sees there's a God, there's the superpower, and I'm grateful for the skill that I have because he has given it to me. Then when we are grateful, then we can give up the results of the activity that I'm doing. Because if I'm attached to the skill that I have and saying, I am doing this work, I'm saving all these people, being able to heal them, then that is not giving up the fruits of our activities. And Ramananda Prabhuji brought that up. And that means that is in the mode of goodness. That's how we advance. Because we understanding there's a higher power, right? It's not my skill. It's not nothing I own is mine. It's the Lord. It's the Lord's, but he has given me this. So that way, when we do something, then the results of the activities can be, sacrificed and saying, Lord, I'm doing this, but I'm leaving the results to you. How it comes out, I don't know. I can do the surgery, but whether it comes out right or not and how he's able to speak, then is up to you. So, and Ramananda Prabhuji, he brought up that topic last week. Yeah. And I thought it made a lot of sense when you said gratefulness earlier. And I thought, oh, that's how it probably works. So what's your thoughts, Gurudev?
Well, I would say that if someone is acknowledging God in any way, just to think of God and appreciate God, that he's given me the skill, that's bhakti.
Okay.
And so if he's thinking, yeah, I have this skill, let me use it. And let me use it. Plus he's also, he's using it primarily to raise his family, etc. And the skill to make money for the family. But if he's recognizing that God's giving me the skill, then it becomes bhakti.
But not really. I mean, I'm sorry, Gurudev, because I'm thinking that if it is bhakti, then he'll offer what he has earned to the Lord as well. But if he's only earning it for his family, then it's in the mode of goodness. This is what I'm thinking. Although he realizes,
it crosses a line if he recognizes that I'm getting my skill from God. And he's doing it for his family. I would say remember I said, I don't know where that line is for us. So
yes, and that's why I looked at the third canto.
We can have different.
Right. Yeah. Right. True.
I would say if it's making him think of God, just to meditate upon God, that God has given me the ability to do this. That's humility. Whereas, to me, that it's kind of crossing. It's definitely getting where the line is. That's for sure.
Okay.
Recognize that there is a God, and He's giving me the skill, and He uses it in what appears to be like the mode of goodness. But He went to God for it. Krishna says, "Kama sarva kama vam moksha kama." Remember, Giri Govardhan Prabhu was, when he was giving a class, he was talking about the verse that what is it? Chatur Vidi Bhajate Mam Janak Sukritin Arjuna Arto Jigyasa Artati Gyani Tarsava.
All kinds of people.
All kinds of men that come. And if they're just coming because they're in distress, but they turn to God for it, they go to Vaikuntha, which Prabhupada doesn't talk about.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Remember, he said Prabhupada didn't want to, he doesn't want us to.
He wants us to go back to Goloka Vrindavan. He doesn't want us to go to Vaikuntha.
Right. So they come in distress, and they just want something. But because of that, they're going to Vaikuntha. They're going to God for that. So if somebody is coming to God for my skills, then the kama sarva kama vam moksha kama daradi, whatever we want, turn to God for it, turn to Krishna for it, and we get purified by it, because Krishna's all purifying.
Yeah.
So it's, to me, it's you're kind of crossing your.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that kind of blew my mind, that class that Giri Govardhan gave when he was talking about. Because Prabhupada doesn't bring that up at all.
No, yeah.
But anyway, that's interesting subject matter. Okay, so let's now go to Ellie. Ellie, dear, what you got?
Hey, Krishna Gurudev, please accept my humble obeisances. Yeah, it's also probably more of a topic, but maybe you could give me just like a little nugget. Okay. We all know Lord Chaitanya is the most merciful incarnation of Krishna. He gave us the Maha Mantra. He came down to lead us in how really specific ways how to return to Godhead. But I'm curious if you have any more ways in which he was merciful. I would love to hear the other ways he showed mercy.
Let me think on that for a minute. Well, the one thing, he didn't just give it and leave it. He didn't just, okay, first of all, because we're going to back up even further, the Maha Mantra is always there. It's eternal. Lord Chaitanya didn't like make it up out of, for Kali Yuga. It's always there. It's the holy name. Krishna is always none different from Krishna. But in other ages, people, they weren't inclined towards taking the easiest route. They like to take a challenge, and they weren't inclined. It wasn't really the Yuga Dharma. There's other things that are specifically recommended in other yugas, but any time the holy name's always been there. But what Chaitanya did was he came and personally taught us how to do it. He came chanting. There's a very famous verse, Krishna Varnam Prasha Krishnam Sango Pankastra Parshadam Jagai Sankirtana Priyarya Janti Sumedasha. That Krishna Varnam Prasha Krishnam, that means when Krishna came, Krishna Varnam, Varna means syllables. He was chanting Krishna. Lord Chaitanya, when he was a little baby, he was making people chant, or he was giving chant, because he came during this also very, it was a lunar eclipse, wasn't it? It was a lunar eclipse when Lord Chaitanya came, and everybody was out, chanting mantras to chanting Hare Krishna and so on, just to counteract the inauspiciousness of the eclipse. And when he was a little baby, he would cry and cry, drive people crazy crying. But as soon as they start chanting, he would stop crying. Then he came and he taught us. There's a famous photograph. You may have seen it, maybe you haven't, where Prabhupada is like practically holding a little kid's hand, and he's teaching him how to do how to write Sanskrit. Have you seen that picture?
No, I haven't.
Guru Kuli. And so he's probably like, I don't know, 10 years old or something, or 8. And Prabhupada's holding his hand and he's teaching him. Lord Chaitanya came to teach us. He personally came to teach us. Advaita Acharya, when he prayed to Krishna, he says, you got to come yourself. We need nobody. Everybody's ignoring everything in the scriptures. It's called the Yuga. Everybody's going to hell. Lord Chaitanya personally came and he taught us everything. There's a beautiful verse by Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. He says, Aragya Nija Bhakti Yoga Shishartamekam Purushak Paranam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Sharira Dari Kripamburu Yastramaham Prabhaje. He said, I offer my respects to Krishna, who came as Lord Chaitanya to teach us real knowledge, detachment from whatever does not foster Krishna consciousness. And, therefore I surrendered his lotus feet. Lord Chaitanya came and personally taught us. He didn't just tell us what to do. He came and he did it. He took a guru. He took a spiritual master. He served his spiritual master. He taught us everything. And when he sent the people out to preach, he said, and you don't hear this at all from Krishna, when he sent out Lord Nityananda and Haridas Thakur, he said, don't discriminate who's a fit candidate and who's not a fit candidate. Whereas Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, look, Yesham Tandikata Papam Jananam Punya Karmana. That means only one who's given up all of his sinful activities, who's had many, many lives of piety. This is a prerequisite to approach Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya threw it all out. No, the most fallen, Patita Pavana, save the most fallen. And quite frankly, I think in my case, I was pretty fallen. I was born in a meat-eating family. I didn't have a nice birth like Malati, for example. I was born in a meat-eating family. And, my inclinations were not really spiritual at all. And but he's Patita Pavana. He saves the most fallen first. So and he sent us out to not discriminate anybody, anyone, no matter how fallen. They approached Jagai and Madhai just to teach. They approached Jagai there was nobody more fallen at that time than Jagai and Madhai. They were horrible. They were horrible. And even Krishna himself wanted to cut their heads off with the Sudarshantis, but Lord Nityananda, no. He said, Lord Chaitanya, look, if we're going to kill them, we got to kill everybody. We have to set the example. This will prove to everyone, if we can make them great devotees, that will set the great example that even the most fallen can become purified. So, Lord Chaitanya really blurs the line of free will. It gets a little blurry, and especially Lord Chaitanya's devotees, like Lord Nityananda. It's blurry. Begs, Lord Chaitanya is begging us, please, please. There's that song from Jeev Jago, Enechi Ashodi Maya Nashi Barolage. That means I brought the medicine. Lord Chaitanya, I brought the medicine and wiped out the illusion of Maya. Enechi Ashodi means like a nerve. I brought the medicine. Enechi Ashodi Maya Nashi Barolage, that'll purify. Harinam Mahamantra. Loy Tumi. That means Loy Tumi, please take it. Please take it. Please, please. Begging us. Krishna's not begging at all. He's very matter of fact. All right, Arjuna, I've told you this, I've told you that, do what you want. He's not begging Arjuna. Krishna didn't beg anybody. It's your free will. I'm given the knowledge. If you want to take it. But no, Lord Chaitanya, Loy Tumi, please take. Magi means I'm begging you to take it. Begging you. Look where Prabhupada went. He was the personification of Lord Nityananda. He went to the most degraded place on the planet, practically. Bowery, in the freezing cold. He never left India. I think it was like the cold winter on record or something. And what he went through, heart attacks on the ship, and what Prabhupada went through. And that was all empowered by Lord Nityananda. Lord Chaitanya is complete success. It's what Lord Chaitanya wanted. He said, Prativiti acharata nagarati gram sarvata patoi hoibe maranam. Go to every town and village. That's what Lord Chaitanya wanted. Krishna didn't. He wanted everywhere on the planet. Krishna was there in India, a nice place in India. Of course, he changed, all the seasons changed when Krishna. But Lord Nityananda said, I want this everywhere. Actually, all over the universe, Lord Chaitanya. It says in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Sarva Loka Udarite Goda Avatar. So this Goda Avatar, this Lord Chaitanya, he Sarva Loka, that means all the planets are, so Udarite, to liberate. So yeah, this is huge. And Lord Chaitanya set the example of even animals. He when he went through the Jharkhand forest, he made, Krishna wasn't preaching to lions. Lord Chaitanya wasn't preaching to tigers or dogs. Lord Chaitanya was very intimate with a dog. Shivananda Singh was making all the arrangements when Lord Chaitanya would go here and there, and he had a dog, and Lord Chaitanya had this wonderful exchange with the dog. The dog went back to Godhead. So Lord, I mean, he's very different than Krishna. Krishna was wonderful. And what Krishna did, we have access to that. So with Lord Chaitanya's blessings, now we can read Bhagavad Gita and understand it. That make sense?
It does, yes. That nectar has filled my heart and inspired. It's been very inspiring to me, especially about the dog.
Yeah, the dog.
It's very merciful.
Tigers, lions. What other animals were there? Nalati, what other animals were there at Jharkhand that are mentioned? You remember?
The deer. The tiger was not eating the deer, but they were all dancing together.
Right. They were all, the animals were all dancing.
All the animals, especially to bring to the attention that the tiger was not eating the deer, but he was all because of what.
Kirtan together.
Yeah. And then when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was little, remember Gurudev, he had a puppy. He got a puppy, and then Mother Shachi tied it outside, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to cry that, she said, you cannot bring this dog into the house. He said, so she tied it outside. So she said, you go take a bath, and then when you come back, your puppy will be here. But when he went to take a bath, she let it go. And then but it was then his friends came and told him, your mother let go of the puppy. So he ran and he couldn't find his puppy. He was crying. Then his friends told him, your puppy is dancing in the town, dancing. And then when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went, he saw the puppy chanting and dancing. It was a puppy. And he was chanting and dancing. And then it went back to Godhead.
That's
jumping.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I forgot.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, it's a great story. And even in the spiritual world, Krishna has 2 dogs that are meant.
That's why I want to. Yeah, I want to know that, Gurudev. Can you say more about that?
I don't know much about it. I know their names.
Okay, what are their names?
One is named Vyaghra,
Uh-huh.
Vyaghra, which means tiger,
Oh, okay.
and the other's Bhramaraka.
Oh, okay.
Means Brahmaraka. Um, notes. Let me see here. Give me a second. Go here. Oh, yeah, Brahmaraka means it's another word for bee.
Oh,
Mm.
wow.
For a bee. Brahmaraka.
B.
The name
Gurudev.
in Sanskrit primarily means a bee. It can also
Oh,
refer to a whirlpool, an eddy, a ball for playing with, or a curl of hair on the forehead. But the most common poetic meaning is bee, making it a sweet name for a dog.
Mm.
wow. Huh. Gurudev, are there any other animals in the spiritual world? Katrina asked me this question. Is there a tiger there? She asked me. How do I answer that?
Let me come back to Zoom here. How do I get back?
Okay.
Zoom. Where'd it go? Here it is. Zoom. Well, in the spiritual world, there's everything is a perverted reflection. I mean, there's like probably an infinite number of different kind of forest animals and birds, and it's not like limited.
Okay.
So
Okay.
every and it's expanding. There's new species, new. I mean, everything's expanding in the spiritual world. So everything that's here is there.
Okay. I'll tell her that. Okay. She likes tigers. So she said, do they have tigers in the spiritual world? I said, I don't know. I'll ask Gurudev. I'm not sure.
Well,
So,
I can't give you an exact reference. So I'm philosophically speculating.
okay.
That's
I'll
an
tell.
example of philosophical speculation. That I mean, tigers are so beautiful, and especially the Bengali tigers.
The white one?
No, the ones in Bengal, they're beautiful, beautiful tigers.
Yeah.
They do have.
Yeah. White. They are so beautiful as well. Yeah.
I think they're albino.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
They're absolutely beautiful, just like there's white peacocks.
Mm. Yeah.
Well, if there's white peacocks here, there's got to be white peacock.
Yeah.
And I've heard that all the cowherd boys and they all have different colors.
Yes.
Here we're limited. We have a spectrum, and there's only certain colors. Each one can have their own color that's not even close to any other color.
Yes, true. Yeah.
Sort of color, who knows? We'll just
True. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah, even Srimati Radharani's, the gopis, they were saying the other day that the gopis also have different colors. There's one gopi by name of Sham. She's dark. She's very dark. So when Srimati Radharani is angry with Krishna, Sham must not come in front of her. Then Srimati Radharani will be very upset. When Srimati Radharani is okay in a good mood, then Sham should come because then she will how it is. So it was so funny that talk that I heard about all the things that Srimati Radharani doesn't want to see when she's angry, upset with Krishna. Any dark, anything black, so she gets upset. So
I have one other nice piece of nectar to share. If
okay,
I've got to get Ellie's permission to share. Ellie, can I share the poem that you wrote?
Oh, nice.
Oh, sure, I suppose.
That would be nice.
Yeah, I updated it.
Oh, you did.
Would you like me to send you? I did. I worked on it a little bit.
You
May I send you the updated one that I think is a little more accurate after our talk
Okay.
here? I can text it to you really quick.
Right. About form.
Yes.
Talk about that.
I'm not sure if what I have is a placeholder, but I'm moderately satisfied with it now.
Would you read it to us slowly?
Sure. Okay.
And
Nectar?
there's an introduction to it, like who it was to. It was
Oh, this is to yeah, this I write a lot. A lot of writing flows out of my heart when I'm doing chanting japa in the morning. And this was something that came to me last week. So here it goes. Nectar flows through your mouth like a river. Oh, and this was too written for Gurudev and Srila Prabhupada. Nectar flows through your mouth like a river into my ears, piercing the veil of Maya, injecting bhakti directly into my heart. The touch of our souls is like the long overdue meeting of Krishna and Radha. Wisdom meeting compassion, playfulness meeting gravity, strength meeting softness. Two sides of the same coin, cultivated within me by your causeless mercy. You are a vessel. Krishna speaks to me through you, reminding me that this life is to be used for devotional service. He manifests in ways my mind cannot comprehend, but my spirit recognizes. O Gurudev, it is through your surrender that I hear him calling to me over the ocean of nescience, beckoning me back home.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Wow, amazing, really nice, very
Thank you.
nice. You have a gift, Mata, really,
Oh,
of writing what you feel in your heart. It's really nice.
I truly feel it's Krishna. It really doesn't, I don't think of much. I just type it on the
Yeah,
phone.
but still, you
Thank
are
you.
an inspiration. Truly, you are inspiration to me.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
because
so
I
much
don't
for
write
sharing
anything.
that.
So this is very nice. Please write more and read to us more. Be very nice.
I will.
Yes.
Thank you for
Thank
your
you.
encouragement.
Thank you.
So everybody, turn your cameras on for just a moment, and we'll say goodbye. We want to see everybody. We'll see how this last marks. Okay.
Ellie, are you on our WhatsApp group?
No, I'm not actually.
Okay.
Can ask.
If you message Nitai Prabhu, he'll add you to our WhatsApp group.
Okay. Let me try. Yeah, I can tomorrow. I usually see him on Saturday here, so I'll ask him tomorrow. Thank you. Yeah. I can share some more on there. I have a lot of writings. I've been a little shy. I'm a little shy to share them, but maybe as I build my confidence, I can share more through there.
Yeah, it's very, very, very sweet. And she's quite a young
Nice.
girl. She's a very great inspiration to all of us.
Yes. Mm-hmm. True. Yes,
And Chan, I tell you, I mentor so many women that have children, young children, and it's so rare that someone's able to chant 16 rounds and raise a child. I mean, it's always, hey, it's okay. You know, eventually when your child gets married, you'll have more time in your life. Eventually when you go to school, you'll have more time if you can just get get 4 rounds or 2 rounds, whatever I can get them to do. I don't know how she does. She has a job.
Yeah.
She has a job. She has a
Oh
husband.
my.
She's raising a child. She chants 16 rounds. That's great inspiration.
Krishna is just as important to me as my own child.
We're very privileged to have you with us.
And I'm so, I feel so blessed by Krishna to be here.
And to have you as a aspiring disciple is wonderful. It's warms my heart. Okay, everyone. So we'll see everybody back here, same time, same station next week. Hopefully, we'll see how the.
Gurudev, when will you be back?
I'll be back in Hawaii on the 12th.
Oh, 12th of.
But I just saw on the news that I have to run to a meeting. I just saw that in Sydney, Australia, which is where I'm going to get dropped off.
Oh,
Right. Somehow the flights are all getting canceled. I don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
Oh, wow.
It's a big problem in Australia right now. So hopefully I'll be back on the 12th. But they mentioned that even the airline that I'm having, I don't know what it was. I didn't have time to read about it, but there's something going on. So
Okay.
up to Krishna. But
Yes.
it's great that we've been able to still have classes. And I go to I've been able to go to our Bhagavatam class every morning.
Mm.
All right. Thank you all. We'll see you all next time. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Ki jai. Gurudev ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.